Hello, today we'll explore how to add widgets into sidebar areas. So the first thing to take note of is a component which has been installed that allows us to view the sidebars on the page. So the word sidebar is a little bit misleading because the sidebars are not always on the side. What the Sidebar Debug does, it shows the names of each of the sidebars. So for example, we can see that there's an area over here. That's why it's great to refer to them as areas in this gray color. And it shows color mag header sidebar. So it shows that we've got a sidebar in this area over here. Now the green block is actually the widget, and these are our social media buttons. So this is a widget which shows social media buttons. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll see that we have another area called color mag front page top full width area. So that's the name of the actual sidebar or area. Inside it we have a widget which is called feature post slider widget. And so it goes. We can see over here we have another area called color mag front page content top section, and this is color mag right sidebar. So that's why this function is quite useful. You can identify the different areas which are on your page and where to put a widget into. So now that we've covered areas a bit, we will move into actually adding a widget like this into an area. So to add a widget, we're going to click on our customize button in the admin bar. That will take us to the customize page. Now on the control panel on the customize page, we have an option for widgets. When we click on widgets, you'll notice it shows all the areas on a specific page. And here we can toggle between toggle between the names of. So over here we've got a header sidebar. So we would go back to our customized control panel, and we look for header sidebar, and scroll down a bit. There we go, we've got a header sidebar. Now theoretically, if we open this header sidebar and we'll toggle back to the other page, we should see a widget, a social media widget page, a social media widget. So let's click on our header sidebar, and indeed we see social icons. So basically this is configuring the ability to add these social media icons over here. So these social media icons over here are a widget which are inside the header sidebar. Now what I want to do is I want to add a widget, a social media widget, to the footer of our page. So just above the copyright, we'd like to put social media buttons in there. So we scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to pick our footer sidebar 1, let's say, and I'm going to add a widget, and I am going to select. I can scroll down and find the widget I want. There's lots of widgets, so instead of doing that, I'm going to search for the widget I want, select it, and this will then add the social icons widget into the footer sidebar area. So as you see, the page is ghosted out at the moment, which means it's processing, and you'll notice that we now have this follow us item over here. So that is our social media widgets. What's helpful too is our sidebar debug. You'll remember this function over here has given us the names of the different sidebars in the footer. Now actually I don't want the widget, the follow us widget, to be I don't want it to be on the left hand side, I want it to be in the middle. So actually the name of that area is color mag footer sidebar 2 upper. So let's try and move the follow us widget, the social media widget, into the footer sidebar 2. To do that, I click on reorder right in the control panel, because this is social media icons indicates follow us. So when I click on reorder, you'll notice it shows this little box over here with the arrow. If we click on the box with the arrow, it actually allows us to move the widget somewhere else, to another area. So this allows us to move the widget in between different areas. So I'm going to scroll down until I find the footer 2 upper area. I click on it and scroll a little bit more down and actually click on the move button, and what should happen now is that the widget, this follow us widget, should move into the next area, which is the sidebar 2 upper area. So let's click on move, goes out for a little bit, processes, and when it comes through, we should see that our widget has moved into the center of the screen. Scroll down, and indeed the follow us is now in the center. So so we've covered so far areas, and we've covered widgets, and how widgets are placed in different areas and can move from area to area. You'll notice that we still have the social media widgets at the top of the page, but now we also have social media widgets at the bottom of the page over here. So in the control panel, in the customized control panel, we'll see our widget, and it's our social media our social icon widget, that is in our footer sidebar 2, and when we expand it, we can actually configure it. So we'll start by adding icons. Let's put now each time we click on add, each widget has a different way of being configured. This widget in particular is asking for URLs to different social media accounts. So let's put facebook.com, for example. And what about twitter.com? And maybe let's add another one, linkedin.com. Now you'll notice each widget is a little bit different in the way it processes. This one has a little wait indicator, which is asking us to wait for it to complete processing, and by the time it comes through, we should see our social media buttons in this area, and we don't. So we might need, I might have made a mistake, excuse me. Let me put in a fully qualified address. Perhaps if I put in HTTP, there we go. So it's now recognized the change I made and inputted it into all the other fields. Just change these to HTTPS for secure connections. And that's it. That's my social media buttons. And I'm going to click on done. And I am now going to click on publish. It's very important to click on publish at the end of each configuration to actually have the changes take effect. So when we go back to our site, let's turn off our sidebar debug just to have a more realistic view of our site. You'll see our social media buttons at the top here, and when we scroll down to the bottom, let's hold thumbs, we should have our other social media buttons.